Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So today got a little bit of an interesting topic to talk about while we are waiting for High Evo to finally be released via patch. And it's everyone's favorite discourse, Galactus. So a while back, it was mentioned that they're keeping an eye on Galactus, and he's a card that they monitor more thoroughly and are a little bit stricter with kind of the amount of play he's getting relative to when they consider nerfing a card compared to a lot of other cards in the game, because he is a very distinct and different play pattern that, unsurprisingly, a lot of people don't really care to play against. So let's take a look here at the question we got on Discord the other day. A while ago, you pointed out that Galactus hasn't reached the threshold you set for him, and that threshold is much lower than for regular cards. Now my question is, has he crossed that line? He's been the most popular deck in the game since the beginning of the previous season, and his play rate, at least according to third-party sources that are available to regular players, has been oscillating between 8 and 12%. So yeah, Galactus been somewhere between that 8 and 12%. He's popped up, popped down. It's not a huge crazy outlier. There are other decks in those ranges, but clearly they monitor him a bit more thoroughly. Glenn says, yes, his play rate hasn't subsided as we'd hoped. We're reviewing ways we can adjust his card to better accomplish our goals. So, does this mean they're going to nerf Galactus? It probably means they're going to do something to adjust this card. And I think it's going to cause a whole lot of controversy, because while online you may see a lot of discourse around people hating Galactus, I would not be surprised if for every person that hates Galactus, there's another one who really enjoys him, who just doesn't feel the need to come talk about it. I think people are a lot more likely to talk about something and complain about something when they're not enjoying it versus going out of their way to kind of say, hey, I'm really enjoying this thing. So I think this is going to be pretty controversial. We can see Galactus up here in the left-hand corner. You might notice a little bit different than the Galactus we have in game, and that's because Galactus has been quote-unquote nerfed before. He launched as a 6-3, and then they said, well, he's a bit better than we'd like, so we're toning him down to a 6-2. And funnily enough, that was generally received as a buff to the card as throwing priority became easier. And we hadn't really heard much since then. So I wanted to bring this up, get the news out there, and I'm kind of in the middle. I'm pretty neutral on Galactus. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's fun to play from time to time, and sometimes it is a little annoying to lose to, but I'm not overly bothered by it. Part of that might be because the discrepancy in play rate is very different pre-infinite and post-infinite. Pre-infinite, it's like the numbers mentioned in this post, somewhere between 8 and 12%. Post-infinite, I find it to be way, way smaller. I think it's coming in at like 3% or something. So a lot less than you're seeing pre-infinite. And I think there's a reason for that. It's because Galactus isn't that good. So people playing him a lot of times get stuck down there. Not everybody. A bunch of people do climb to infinite with Galactus, but I think more people than not are getting stuck down there. And that's kind of why we're seeing such a discrepancy in so many people playing it pre-infinite compared to post-infinite, where it's not as popular. Now, here's something I think should be pointed out. If you really hate Galactus and you want this card to be gone, I wouldn't get your hopes up. Galactus is a big bad, and big bads, they don't have their status because of the lore or because they're doing something flashy and powerful. Big bads have their status because they want you to pay more money for these cards. They want you to cough up that 6,000 tokens for Galactus, and they're not going to significantly destroy a card that they want to be selling. And what further drives home this point to me is the fact that they're keeping Null in Series 4. They want to get their mileage out of Null being a 3,000 token card. So they're not going to just totally destroy the one archetype that Null is prominent in, because then their sales are going to get hit doubly hard. Less new people are going to buy Galactus, and less people who don't have Null are going to have reason to get Null. So I mean, it's kind of unfortunate having to view it like this, but I think it's just the reality of the situation. They clearly want to extract more money with these cards, and so they're incentivized to make them playable. Now, it's possible Galactus gets a total rework, but they're not going to redo his animation. They have to make it still fitting and thematic, so if they did rework the card, I have no idea what they would do to change this. I like to joke they're just going to knock another power off of it. They're going to make it a 1 power and call it a day. But yeah, I really don't know what they're going to do if they change this card or how they're going to adjust it. And frankly, I don't think there's ever going to be a solution that makes everybody happy. And it wouldn't surprise me if they actually found a way to make everybody unhappy by both nerfing a card Galactus players really like and not nerfing it enough for the people that hate it. So I think it'll be definitely kind of amusing to sit by the sidelines and watch, but I think they are definitely playing with fire here a bit, especially after the last patch went over kind of poorly with the news about changes to rotation. Now people are kind of upset that the one card they were excited to buy on release, the High Evo, is delayed. It's a shame because the gameplay wise has actually been really great recently, but everything else not so great. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you want them to change Galactus? Do you want him to stay as he is? If you were to change Galactus, what would you do? I'd like to hear people's ideas, because I think there's a ton of different stuff you can do, but I don't really know how you keep the feeling of the card the same while changing it in a significant way. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.